If we just sort of turn our attention to the mental health side that correlates with IBS. So this enteric nervous system can feel emotions.
Yeah.
It can feel pain. It can feel anxiety. So when we talk about like, I have a gut feeling, that's actually like a real thing now that's been shown scientifically that it exists. And what's interesting is that the vagus nerve runs from the pelvis through every single organ almost in the body and, and hits into the amygdala. And when you are activated from a stress kind of perspective and the signal gets sent up through the vagus nerve, talk a little bit about like what happens if you're in that fight or flight state. Like what is actually happening to the gut? And is the gut actually the one that's informing the brain? Like how does this sort of work?
Good question. So what can happen when your HPA axis, which we previously talked about, is activated? You end up in this chronic state, okay? And so there was a study done around about 20 years ago in Holland, and it's not a study that I condone, but I had come across this study around primates. And unfortunately, the chimps were separated from their mothers, and they measured their feces with beneficial bacteria whilst they were with their mother, and then what happened to their beneficial bacteria when they were separated from their mother. And what they found was that, which directly correlated, was that when these chimps had high cortisol levels, they shedded more beneficial bacteria. The hypothesis was that they then allowed for what we know as common cell bacteria, which is bacteria that normally live in the digestive system, in colonizing forming units. That's how bacteria is measured in the digestive system, is that these common cell bacteria, so normal bacteria that should be there, then became potentially pathogenic bacteria because the colonizing forming units increased. And so then that reduced the diversity of the microbiome. And then they ended up with IBS.